Well, hello, cooksters. Oh my goodness, can you believe it's been a minute, as the kids say, since we've put out a video on Behind the Reel. But I'm your host, Christopher Cook. That's Christopher with an F, and this is, in fact, Behind the Reel. We're coming back to you with lots of videos, lots of content, and I can't imagine a better time to do it than the great month, my favorite month of the year, October. That spooky time and creepy time when we start pulling out all of our plastic skeletons and all of the strange latex masks and things that just make spooking. That's a new verb, folks. Well, I'll tell you another new verb that you may not be familiar with, and it's called corpsing. Corpsing has two different meanings. One of them is a very old term, I think, that came from Great Britain in the theater. And that simply meant that you were cracking up on stage at a moment that you shouldn't have been. Something that should have been really serious. And it kind of comes from that moment when, you know, you're an actor and perhaps you're in a community theater play and you're supposed to play a dead body. I think we've all had that opportunity, whoever has acted in these plays, particularly murder mysteries. You're lying on stage and you begin to giggle. That's called corpsing. There's another meaning behind the word corpsing, and that's going to bring us to our video today. And by the way, I'll go ahead and let you know that this is all in preparation for my yard haunt this year, PHARAOH. That's right, and as you can see right here, you can see we've got these great Egyptian panels. We'll give you a quick tutorial on how to make those on your own. And we'll bring all of this to you and explain corpsing in a brand new way when we return in a moment. So, corpsing is simply taking a plastic skeleton and fleshing it out, as it were. And there are different types of corpses, obviously, different types of ways that you can make your skeleton special for Halloween or your home haunt or your professional commercial haunt, however you would like to apply this method and technique. By the way, there are lots of different methods and techniques for corpsing. Mine is just one of them. So, what are the different kinds you can do? Well, you can make your skeleton look like it's been burned up and charred in a car accident or something. I know this sounds really creepy and disgusting, but hey, this is real life at Halloween. So in that case, you might use colors like red and black, a little bit of red underneath for the tissue, and then the charred black and maybe a little bit of brown. You could also do a frozen corpsing. I haven't tried that yet, but that's the next one I really want to try. A lot of white and blue, those would be the colors there, and a lot of frost on top of the skin area. The kind of corpsing we want to do today, however, is we want to turn these cute little skelly sconces into mummies. That's right. These are basically $35 sconces that you can order from Oriental Trading Company. The eyes light up red and they're holding a candle that has a beautiful amber glow. Now, I have already, as you can see here, created some faces on top of those plastic skulls, and then I have applied some fleshy mess on the rest of the bodies. This is what I have used, Mod Podge. That, and then of course, cotton. And so I have already completed for these four, step 1. After you have affixed the Mod Podge and the cotton, you're going to want to let these dry for about a day or so, overnight. You can see I used a little air dry clay just to firm up the features on the face of the skulls so that they don't flatten out after the process is done. So now it's time to wrap these bad boys in some plastic sheeting. You'll want to grab yourself some Gorilla Glue spray adhesive and begin the process. Step 2 is going to be to affix some plastic sheeting around these skeletons and then use a heat gun to sort of crinkle up that plastic sheeting like skin, like strange, melted, and yet desiccated, mummified flesh. So I just suggest if you want to do what I'm doing, you look around and see if you can find some sheets of plastic. I found some right here in the workshop on this headboard of this bed that was just used when it traveled from place to place. So let's use what we have. What do you say? Good idea? We just cut, and cut. And I'll move this over to the workshop table. Come with me. Okay, awesome. Now that we have sprayed everything with adhesive, it's time to suffocate the little skeletons with plastic. Okay? So I am very happy that my special daughter, whom I love so much, by the way, she is going to turn 20 years old in November. She is my camera person right now. Say hi, Valley.
Hi.
Okay. So we can do some of this. What I would suggest is when you get to this point, instead of making sure that it's all nice and neat and pressed neatly on there in a very smooth surface, that's not necessary because you're going to use a heat gun to crinkle it up anyway. So when you put it on, it's okay to put it on rather haphazardly and let some of the folds and crinkles just sit there. He's ready for the heat gun. After the liquid latex is dry, then it's time to start the process of staining. So I'm using a Minwax product. The color is cherry. And as you can see here, I'm really just liberally slashing it on, basically. I'm just not even dabbing it here and there. I'm basically giving generous long strokes with the wood grain. Reason being is that it takes a while for it to dry, certainly. However, the way that the stain goes onto the plastic and the liquid latex, well, it's a little challenging. So you do have to use copious amounts. And as you can see, I'm just going around and around different areas and just having fun with it. Really no rhyme nor reason at this point, because I just want to get the color on top of the body. Later, if need be, I can use other colors of stain. I can use a little bit of paint, and I can do some detailing so that the different tones and different curvature and everything else will show up. But for now, this is the way it should be looking. So at this point, what Jeff and I are doing is we are adding adhesive to foam board, and even though the adhesive Gorilla Glue is really kind of eating into the styrofoam, that's okay. We don't have a problem with that because we're putting this Egyptian tapestry on top, and you can see that even the wrinkles and bubbles and all of that, they're going to work to our advantage because they're going to help everything look somewhat aged and ancient. And so anyway, get louder? Is that what you're saying? Okay. So anyway, that's what we are doing. We are putting adhesive, and you about ready to roll it over? Okay, let's see how this works. So this is what we do. I'm putting my, Jeff, I think I forgot, here we go. So I'm adhering this to the edge. Okay, bringing it down here. Add a little bit more gunk. See. You can see here where it starts to eat into the styrofoam, but here's what I'm trying to do. I am trying to give us the most bang for our buck without having to spend a whole lot of money, but this is a very cost-efficient way to create panels. We want the look of old Egyptian tombs replete with hieroglyphs, they say. And we're looking pretty good. We're just sort of sealing it by pressing in. And everything that the camera is picking up right now, all the mistakes and all the little errors and all of that, none of that will be seen when it's up and lit, and certainly from the street. It's just going to read as a giant wall of an old cursed Egyptian tomb. Okay, folks, here we are.
very exciting night right before Halloween weekend, as it were. So we've got Thursday night, Friday night, and we've got people coming on Sunday as well. So the haunt ostensibly is assembled with my good buddy Jeff and myself. We did the technical aspects of everything, and now I'm just going to give you a quick look, lights on, at what we've put up. You can see here we've got the really good and fun little beasts right here that we've been working on. I showed you the way that we did that. Put this right here over the door into the house. That's Anubis. You'll hear more about him later. We've got these wonderful skull stack right here. Let me just remind everyone, unless I didn't talk about it earlier, this skull stack actually is a set piece that came from Stephen Sommers' 1999 film, The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser. And here we are with a couple of things that I've owned in the past that I thought would work well. And here he is, folks. This is the one, the only corpsed skeleton that I've been working on. And we'll give him a narrative and a story and a name later. But for now, I think he looks pretty good, sort of propped up here. I think the colors from the lights that Jeff focused on him are gonna work well. And the reason we're keeping his hat off right now is because you have to have access to the switch that will turn on the red glowing demonic lights in his eyes. But I think it turned out really well. A few things I still need to do that'll probably happen after Halloween weekend, and that is to give him a top set of teeth and some webbing and soil him up a little bit with some dusting of dirt from outside. And then I put his brother, I'll call him Prince Notuncommon, and we'll see if that catches anybody. And then we put just a gathering of a little vignette of some of the treasures that I, as Professor David Huckville, put together along his travels across the Nile into Egypt. We've got a really cool effect here, show later. You probably will see it in the film that we'll put when we do the lights off tour. But here's the sarcophagus, and what we did basically here is I just took some of the tapestry that I had ordered, I think from a company called Light in the Box, and we cut it to shape, and Jeff and I sprayed it with Gorilla adhesive first and just carefully laid upon this the tapestry, and it should stay like that. I can tell you this will last for a long time. The reason I know that is because it was going to be an outdoor fixture, and it has been raining and raining and raining here in Lexington, South Carolina, and you feel it now. It's completely dry. Not only dry, but it won't peel back up. So this is on here permanently, so we have the illusion of an Egyptian sarcophagus. We set this guy up over here just as a little, to make people uneasy. I don't know that it's a scare necessarily or a jump scare, but we've got the skull on him. It's actually an entire set of armor from Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes from 1999, same year that The Mummy came out. At any rate, this is going to work well just to make people feel uneasy as they leave. This, we put obviously the pharaoh hat on top of this guy here, and I think he's all set to go off and perhaps not. So that's okay. We'll look at him later. We might have to change his batteries. Hey, listen, folks, I really appreciate you sticking with us as we put together the first ever PHARAOH, our home haunt, and we show you the behind-the-scenes making of as we corpse and we get things ready to really scare people this Halloween. So if you liked what you saw, please tell your friends to come on over to the channel Behind the Reel. Please remember to hit Quasimodo's bell, a ring-a-ding-ding, to make sure that you get announced when we do have more and more videos coming your way. Also, go ahead and like and subscribe. We'll really appreciate it. For more content on spooky things, creepy things, things of that nature, as well as the upcoming holidays of Christmas. We might even talk a little about Santa Claus. Come back to the Reel. And as always, folks, remember, sleep tight. Don't let the resuscitated mummies bite.